survivor. I will survive, I will survive. And I'm a firm believer. We'll forever shine, just to stay alive. That simple means it. Nobody can hold me apart. Nobody can change my energy. Nobody can hold me sick. I will not allow negativity. Nobody can hold me apart. Nobody can change my energy. Nobody can, nobody can. Everybody show me some strength. No weakness, show me a lion. Strength, no weakness, show them who we are. Strength, no weakness, show me a lion. Everybody strength, no weakness, show them who we are. Not when you're old. Your enemies, they must tremble. Your enemies, they must tremble. Yo, not when you're old. Everything has to humble. Everything has to humble. I'm a go-getter. I just go hard, I just go hard. And I'm a kind of fella. Put my trust in God, put my trust in God. That's it for me.
This is Ridealong Live, where everyone has a story to tell.
You gotta be firm in this time, son. You gotta be strong in this time, son. I'm a survivor.
It's a Wednesday.
I'm a firm believer.
I
I put my trust in God. I put my trust in God.
I find you getting on, you know. I find you getting on there, you know, Diane. I find you real getting on these days, you know.
It's a Wednesday.
A Wednesday. Wow, Diana, you look very nice today.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
It's
and you know I don't give a lot of compliments, right?
You don't.
I need to do a little more. Someone told me that today. Said, you know, you don't give and you know I can't take compliment either. I always divert compliment. I guess that's why I don't give a lot, because
I don't mind it, because when you give it, it sounds special.
Oh, really?
If you just fling it where, no. When you give it, it sounds authentic. It's so, you know, like you mean it.
Hold on. Let me just share the program right here.
Oh, let me share mine too.
Share. 1, 2, 3, share. Yeah, I'll share the 1, 2, 3. We start a watch party as well. Guys, today is gonna be a very interesting show. Rena, how you doing? Rena, big up yourself. Let me see. Everybody share. While me and Deanna Winter Foundation
I'm
share,
sharing.
I want you guys to share. Share once, share twice. Big up yourself. Oh, there's an echo? Somebody said that there's an echo.
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 I'm not hearing anything.
No, I'm not hearing anything either. Just maybe not an echo. They're probably just hearing us twice, which is not bad.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Let me hold on. Let me start a watch party as well over on my page. Let me start a watch party. Share the program, guys. How you doing? Debbie! Big up yourself. Guys, we have a lot to talk about today. A whole lot of stuff. A lot of
Fun stuff.
Fun stuff. No echo. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not hearing any echo, guys.
No,
I wonder who's hearing echo.
Ridealong confirmed that there's no echo.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no echo. Hold on. I just want to start a watch party and then we could continue. Yeah.
So Debbie said there are inner issues if you're unable to accept and give compliment.
Yeah. There is?
That's what Debbie says.
You know, let's talk about that for a little bit. Guys, welcome to Ride Along Live. This is Wednesday, talking immigration, breaking news in immigration. Of course, you know, Deanna Winter Funday, she always make the whole frame look really nice. And yeah, she always here look make the whole camera look nice. So yeah, I don't know how, like if somebody tell you something really nice, right? Like I don't know if this yeah, I say thank you, but like it's kind of funny inside. Like
Why?
I don't know.
Let's talk about that. Like,
I
what do you
probably
mean you feel funny inside? Let's talk.
like I don't know how to and I don't give a lot of compliments sometimes because I think that people feel a lot like me. Like if
Mm-hmm.
somebody tell you something like they might say, okay, great show or great conversation. Well, okay, all right. I mean, because I don't know, to me, it's probably not where it need to be. Or
Mm-hmm.
if somebody tell me something, I'm like, I'm always second guessing myself. And that's
Mm-hmm.
probably an internal issue that I have. I'm always second guessing myself.
Okay. But
And
you're super confident, Junior. So I mean, I don't understand that.
you think?
You're very confident.
I don't know. I don't know. I need to check that because I
That
just
was a compliment, by the way.
you see, you can get me all goofy and
That was a compliment.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You're very confident. So I wouldn't think I don't think anything about compliments. I give compliments. I don't crave it. I could
Yeah,
live with or without it. I'm okay with or without it.
I could
But
live
I
with that.
love, especially women, like if I'm walking, especially in Florida, and you
Yeah,
see, like, just another sister in the store, like I was in Publix yesterday, I think, and it was my daughter, myself, and I'm passing my groceries, scanning, and these two young women, one is cashing, one is packing the bags, and I never looked up, and I'm
uh,
passing stuff, and then I looked up, and both they're young women, probably early 20s, gorgeous as heck.
yeah.
I had to pause, and I'm like, wait a minute, just to see two young African American women. One is cashing, one in back, and they're just gorgeous. But I had to give them the compliment. I just
Okay,
had to.
okay.
So Alan Bailey said they always blush when somebody gives a compliment. No man,
Like,
I like to give. I like to acknowledge, especially women. And if I see a man, I'm wary because I don't want him to misread the
yeah,
compliment.
yeah.
You understand?
Like if somebody tell you, you look good for your age. Like, how do you take that? Like,
I don't
what
know
does
what
it,
that mean. What does that
what does
mean?
it mean? I don't understand it. You look good for your age. I
What
don't
that
understand it.
mean?
I don't know. I get that sometimes. And
Hmm.
I don't know if to say thank you or what the hell you're talking about. I don't know if it's a
Hmm.
compliment or it's a dis. It's
Hmm.
a. I don't know. What?
Yeah, man.
That's
I like to give compliments, even if I'm flying and it's a woman pilot. I was
uh,
like, wow, that's a fabulous landing. Can a
yeah.
woman they land the plane better than the men? So I
Whatever.
always,
Yeah,
yeah.
you always want to take it back. Here's another thing I can't do. Here's another thing. Here's another difficult thing for me. For the life of me, I can't give sweet eye. You know that little,
What
it's
this?
supposed to be a sexy. Yeah,
I like a wink.
what is that? Like every time I do it, I front up my nose, I twist up my face.
It's
It
not
doesn't.
for everybody. I think it's a gene. I think
Cannot
it's a.
do it.
I don't think it's for everybody. I think it's a gene in us that because I can't do it either. I mean, I can fake it, but I can't really do it.
Okay, Mavis said, Junior, from me to you, you have a strong willpower.
I
Thank you,
do.
Mavis.
All right,
Okay, all
everybody
right.
give Junior compliments the whole show then. All right.
Don't do it. Don't you do it.
Let's drive him crazy. All compliments today
Yes,
for
do it.
Junior,
Do it.
for
No, no,
everything
no, no.
he does for the Caribbean
That
community.
and who else? Destin said, Junior. Somebody say I'm full of it.
Lydia James.
What is that? What is that? What is that? What's that mean? So back to my sweet eye thing, right? So I
Mhm.
tried it because something that we always used to do or expect, like when you were young, you get a little girl like a little sweet eye.
Yes.
So
Yes, we still love those.
I used to always try to. I used to think that I was doing it properly until I look at myself in the mirror on camera. It
Uh-huh.
doesn't look sweet. It looks disgusting. Like
Yeah.
this. Like what is it?
It's
Like
a
you need
little, it's supposed to be like a little wink.
a wink.
Like, yeah, like a little, I think I can't do it well either.
I can't do it well. I
I'm
swear
not
that
that good at it.
I didn't date much back in my younger days because it
Mhm.
was sweet. I
Sweet
never.
eye. I love it. I love it. Sweet eye. I love people like you, Junior, because you can always see that there's some room for improvement, but take credit where credit is due. See?
Okay. Let's
Thank you, Miss Mavis. Thank you, everybody. Thank
thank
you.
you, everybody. Guys, on Wednesday we talk immigration. We talk everything really, but you know, Deanna Winterfunde is a immigration attorney, and we have a lot to talk about today. A whole heap of things. How you say it on the back of yard?
Whole heap of something.
Whole heap of some. Whole heap of
We're gonna,
some.
we're gonna talk about whole heap of something today.
All right, the first something that we go talk about here. I saw this in the news, and I want to bring it to your attention because I didn't know that this freaking thing was so big.
Mhm.
Is the headline Deanna Winterfunde? Here is it: 6 charged in alleged birth tourism scheme that led to 119 babies born on Long Island.
Mhm. Yes.
Birth tourism. What is that?
And what impressed me when you and I were talking, Junior, like you were shocked at this. I wasn't shocked at it. It's very common in places like the US and Canada, birth tourism. So it's essentially in the Caribbean community, we call it anchor baby, right? But when we
Uh,
think about it for the Caribbean community, I don't think we do the math. We just says, so and so went to New York and gave birth to a baby. But birth tourism is this practice of traveling from one place to the next for the sole purpose of giving birth in order to gain the benefits of what that birth comes with. So the whole idea is not like a mistake. It's not like, you know what, I was 6 months pregnant. I traveled to the United States and I went into premature labor. The whole purpose of the travel is to give birth in order to gain whatever benefits that come out of it. And I should add, it's only a few countries that have outright citizenship through birth, and that is why it's a big conversation in like U.S., Canada, Hong Kong. I don't think, and correct me if any Europeans are on here, no European country gives outright birth citizenship, meaning you just can't travel there, have a baby, and the child gets citizenship. So it's a bigger conversation in the US, Canada, and places like Hong Kong, but not so much United Kingdom because New Zealand, Australia, they've all restricted their laws. So by virtue of if you go there to have a child, one of the parents must be a citizen in order for that child to become a citizen. Not so for the United States. Here, we can just come here, have a baby. It doesn't matter our status. It doesn't matter where we're from. That child and it's in our constitution, quite frankly, that child automatically becomes a citizen.
wow. Wow.
Yep.
Wow. So it's a plan thing. It's somebody sitting there. I'm like, yo, 8 months, 8.5 months, time to go. Fly
Or
to the
8
US,
months. Yeah. Mhm.
stay there for whatever time, give birth to the baby, leave, go back to wherever they came from, and the child will always remain a US citizen, even if they stay
Forever.
out of the country forever. For as long as
Forever. That child is a United States citizen, is entitled to all the benefits that comes with United States citizenship. They don't need to apply for a green card. They don't need to do anything. And Joseph said it's a no in the UK. I thought so. Peter Mitchell, I think it's the same thing too with Canada, the United States, and Hong Kong. There's a couple other countries, not even South Africa. Even in South Africa, they're restricted.
Mm.
So yes, so you just come here and give birth.
Is that a loophole? Is that a loophole?
What do you mean when you say
Well, when
loophole?
I say loophole, you know, in the law, because I'm seeing a lot of different loopholes, you know, in the Constitution, in the laws of the United States, especially as it relates to election laws.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I say loophole, it's something that someone circumvent, or something that is written in a way that has not been really seen by the Supreme Court or made a final decision.
I love, and that's why I asked you, what do you mean? Because I know where you're going. You're taking me back to law school 101, first year of law school. We're sitting there and we're all learning about the Constitution. When our forefathers, and if my constitutional law gurus are on this evening, you'll love this because I love this stuff, Junior. So the 14th Amendment was written to protect slaves. If you remember, prior to 1868, simply by being born here, you're not a citizen. You never got any birthright citizenship. This affected slaves more than anything else. So when the forefathers wrote the 14th Amendment, I don't think they had in mind the huge immigration wave that was coming to the United States, right? So the 14th Amendment, it reads, all persons born or naturalized in the U.S. and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the U.S. wherein they reside. So if you're born or you're naturalized, you're automatically a citizen. They were talking to slaves. This law was done to help to benefit slaves. They never saw what was coming with immigrants. So you're absolutely right. So I don't want to believe our forefathers was protecting you and I or the birth of illegal children when they were writing this amendment. They were not. And in fact, we've seen President Trump most recently, he wants to roll this back. He wanted to roll this back. He wanted to put an end. This is what he called birthright citizenship. Right. He wanted to put an end to this, like what we've seen our neighbors in New Zealand, Australia, and Europe have done.
Yes. So that's, because in turn, and by right, if you are born in a country, you are essentially a citizen. Say, for instance, let's put it the other way around, right? If an American left New York and went to Grenada or Trinidad or Jamaica and got and had the baby in the Caribbean island, by right, that child is a Grenadian.
Right.
Point blank, period. That child has a birth certificate from the General Hospital. They could go and get a passport, a Grenadian passport, point blank, period.
That is correct.
If that same thing happened in Africa, you're telling me that, or in New Zealand or in Australia or any other country like that, they're not
automatic. No, they're not. In the United Kingdom, it's not. In New Zealand, it is not. In Australia, it is not. In South Africa, it is not. There's a whole list of countries. I didn't want to list all of them where it is not an absolute right. Very few. It's a very North American concept. And when I say the North American, I mean North Americas, meaning some of the Caribbean islands, some of South America, North America. Most European countries do not give automatic birthright citizenship. Just think of the controversy in the United Kingdom with the Windrush generation. Yeah. This is a conversation they're having. This is a battle they're having where even though these children were born there, they had to take some steps in order to gain that right. It wasn't automatic, like you said. Like if I have a baby here, it doesn't matter my status. So whether I'm legal or illegal, my child gets a United States birth certificate. And we take that for granted. It is not that way the world around. And one of my friends says in the United Kingdom, it is not. Joanna, I know you're saying it right. In most European countries, I agree with you. In most, it is not. It is New Zealand, Australia, South Africa. It is not this automatic right to citizenship.
Right. So let's talk about the scheme, right? And Kibbs, how are you doing? Welcome, Kibbs. Welcome. I know it's about 11. It's almost 12 o'clock in London right now.
Oh, Kibby, thank you so much.
And she's up. She's up.
I know. Thank you for joining us. And thanks for all the comments in the side. They're helping me with the countries, not automatic in France and Germany. It's not automatic.
Okay. So let's talk about the scheme. Yes. Because this article here is stating that 6 was charged, which makes it illegal. Based on the article, this is 6 was charged. Now, if they charged, that they mean that they was doing something that they're not supposed to do. But If we say that is something that is enshrined in the Constitution, how is it illegal? And how is it that we're saying that they get busted for it, people get locked up for it, people get charged for it, but it's in the law? How is
Okay, so they were not charged for the children being born here. If I read that article correctly, and you can read it too, they were charged for running the scheme. So what they did was they advertised to women in the European market, I believe it was Turkey, and the woman paid what, $7,500 to come into the United States in order to give birth. What they did after that is where the crux come in. It's like a scam. They would fill out application for these women to get public health benefits. So each person would go and claim Medicaid in the state of New York, and then they would help them fill out applications to say they're lesser than, meaning financially they cannot afford to pay to have birth in the United States. And so they were given health benefits to the tune of, I think, a little bit over $1 million. $2.1 million it cost the taxpayers.
That is the scheme has nothing to do. If how you explain it right now, the scheme is they're getting illegal Medicaid money, not having their kids come here and born illegally. So how do you tie that into the scheme? Because
So
this is legal.
they're selling American citizenship is not for sale. It's like, even me as an immigration lawyer, I cannot sell American citizenship to anybody, meaning getting married for a green card is legal. What I cannot do in that process is pay somebody to get married for that green card. So what they have done is essentially cooked up a scheme in which they're selling to these women the right to have their child here, or they're selling citizenship to these women because they're saying, look, pay us $7,500. We're going to put you up in a house. We're going to pick you up at the airport. You're going to land. And some of these countries are visa waiver countries where they don't even need a visa to come in. And when you come in, we're going to help you. Your sole purpose for coming is to have this child. And by the way, you're not going to pay anything to have this child. And then once you're done, you can leave. So you're selling something that is legal, of course. There's nothing wrong with having a child here in the United States. You're not supposed to use visa waiver program or a visa to come into the United States and have a child here, because guess what? You and I are paying for that.
Right.
You and I are paying for that, Junior.
Yeah, taxpayers are paying for that. Guys, we're talking about the birth tourism. The birth tourism concept is someone that leave their country and come into the United States, or countries that have birthright citizenship, just for the sole purpose of having children, and then going back to the country of origin. And so we're speaking about this initial scheme where six was charged in alleged birth tourism scheme that led to 119 babies being born on Long Island, right? So that's what we're talking about here in a nutshell. So here's the next question to you, Dione. Why can't these ladies just leave their country, come into the United States, and just have their baby? Why do they need to be cooked up in a scheme? Why do they need that third party to go to the process?
Because there's a couple of things that happens at our border. For one, if I am in Jamaica or I'm in some European country and I'm pregnant, I may not understand the system. I don't understand the medical system. So I need somebody like a doula. I need somebody to help me land, somebody who understands the legal system. In addition, when you come to a port of entry, if you look pregnant, an officer is going to have some questions for you. They can do a turnaround. I've had clients where they have shown up at a port of entry 6, 7, 8 months pregnant, and the officer has inquired of them if they're pregnant, if they have a visitor's visa. You're not supposed to come into the United States just to have a baby. If that is a purpose, say for example, Junior, you're home in your home country and you have a difficult pregnancy and you want to seek medical care in the United States, there are visas for that. So you can, you want to say, I want to come in just to give birth, but it's not solely for birthright citizenship. It's for medical purposes. There's a visa for that. And I've had clients where they have literally taken my client's passport at the border because it's too hard to turn them around, meaning they don't want to turn around a 7, 8 month pregnant woman because you don't know what's going to happen medically. But they have held on to my client's passport and they said, look, you can come in the country, you can have that baby on, and then once you have the baby, you have to leave, because what you're doing, the act itself of coming in to have the baby and leave is illegal. The intent is wrong.
What is shocking about what you just said there is the turnaround. So no one is going to put on an application that I am coming here with the sole purpose of having a child. So,
Right.
so the officer, you're saying, would visually look at a woman. If she look as if she's 8, 9 months pregnant. First of all, that is sexist on many different levels.
And what if all it is that my belly big?
Yeah.
What if I'm not pregnant?
You'd be like, ma'am, are you pregnant? Like,
Yes.
I see. Well, I don't want to say it because people might say that is being judgmental. But sometimes you see people and you don't know if they're pregnant or if
not.
they just have a big stomach, right? You don't go ask them, excuse me, are you pregnant? Could you?
You're at a port of entry, so a lot of the rules. So remember, when you're at a port of entry, you're not in the United States. So
Right.
a lot of our constitutional rules, right to privacy, which is why they can pull us over and open our bags and search. So they can ask you, and they can ask you if you have drugs inside of your belly. They can ask you anything because they're at a port of entry. So the officer can say, "Are you pregnant? How far along are you?" They can do all these questions. These line of questioning can happen. You're knocking at the door asking to come in. Think of this as your house, Junior, and somebody knocks at the door. You're free to ask them anything you want before you let them in. So it's the same concept when you come to a port of entry.
Yeah, Dennis is saying this is so unfair, and I concur. It's very unfair because here's some implications, right? Do they ask men
If they're pregnant?
No, not if they're pregnant.
Oh.
Of child-rearing age, because that's one of the things that they look at. Of child-rearing age, they could deny them visas as well. But men who are traveling, they ask them, "Are you planning to go to the United States and have sex with someone and get them pregnant?"
Which, if they want to do that, that's fine, because hopefully that person is either a legal permanent resident or the person is already living here. So the person is not circumventing the laws, right? The guy's coming, you're free to kind of do what you want, I guess.
Let me ask you about visas, because that also an implication for visa entry. So what happens if a pregnant woman or a not so pregnant woman or almost like 7, 8 months pregnant woman goes for a visa? Does she get visually inspected as well?
So as of January this year, there was some new policy put in place where the consular officer at the interview can ask a line of questioning. In fact, they can ask any woman of a childbearing age if, one, they intend to get pregnant while they're in the United States, or if they are pregnant. Yes, they can ask those questions. The officers can also use what we call visual cues, meaning when you get a, don't laugh, Junior. The officer, Junior laughing. The officer can use visual cues to determine when you go for it doesn't mean a pregnant woman is not going to get a visa, right? But she has to show that there's a legitimate reason for her to be applying for that visa, and the reason is not to come to the United States just to give birth. So they can use visual cues to see if the person is pregnant, or I don't know how they're trained to do that, but they can use visual cues.
In other words, they ask you straight up, "Are you pregnant?
Are you pregnant? Do you plan to get pregnant?
Come here. Let me turn around. Turn this way.
Turn the other way. Turn around.
Also,
yes, they can do that.
A little muscle. This way. This is insane. But I understand it. But this is crazy because it's also sexist. That they would do that. So someone could get turned down. So what if, right? You are going to the United States to a funeral and you're pregnant. What takes Trump above the other? Is it they will not let you in because you look pregnant? But what if you have another reason, another major emergency? How does that work?
And that's when we talk, Junior, about a legitimate reason. And a funeral is a legitimate reason, right? So even though I'm pregnant, I'm 4 weeks pregnant, I'm not hiding it. I'm 8 weeks pregnant, or I am 7 months pregnant. I am not hiding it. I am letting you know that I am traveling for a legitimate reason, and it's not just to have a baby in the United States. So that's what I mean about pregnant women can get visas. Pregnant women will be allowed into the, you could say, for example, I'm going to Florida to go shop for baby clothes. That can be a legitimate reason if you're pregnant or if you're expecting. So it's not this carte blanche. It's not just this you can't come in because you're pregnant rule. It's just an exploration of what's going on with you, and the fact that yes, these, and the more honest you are, I think the better it will be. If you can show, look, I'm 6 months pregnant, my doctor has cleared me to travel, I am not due for another 3 months, I have everything to come back home to. I have a home, I have a job, I have everything. Again, you're showing a legitimate reason for going to the United States. I'm going up because my sister's graduating from the Naval Academy. You have all these legitimate reasons. So it's not just you're not just coming into the United States for no reason at 8 months pregnant. Like, it doesn't make sense. And all of us have been in the airports. You've seen somebody departing the United States with a little baby who's like a little teeny, teeny, tiny thing. And you're like, oh my God, where are you going? The baby shouldn't be traveling. Or you've been on that international flight where that poor baby's crying their heart out. I can spot it a mile away. I'm like, anchor baby. Anchor baby.
Oh,
Birth.
wow.
I see it a mile away. You've seen it, you've just not paid attention, or
I mean,
it not really catch you, it not catch your eye.
yeah. But some people would think that the Caribbean region or other third world countries seems to take more advantage of these type of things, but it's really not.
Myth. It's a myth. They like to blame everything on the brown or dark countries. I'm not saying it doesn't happen for the Caribbean, and I don't want to sound. I'm just gonna say it, right? Many people in the Caribbean don't have 10, 15, 20, $30,000 to pay someone to come into the United States to have a baby, right? So the birth tourism aspect of it is not so high in the Caribbean. What we might see in the Caribbean is a young woman might have a visa and she said, you know what, I'm just going to go into the States and take that risk to give birth to my child in the US. So they're not really participating that much. In fact, a lot of the ads or the Facebook groups that I've looked at, they're not targeting Caribbean women. It's all European or Muslim, some of the Muslim countries that they're targeting, countries in the UAE. Those are the targets. So Caribbean women, I don't think we are large participants in birth tourism. We just aren't.
Some of them would just probably just put a
Put a little something on the belly, come in, maybe have the baby and leave, or have the baby stay with whichever one. You know what I mean? For various reasons, because when that child turns 21, they can petition for you. They can come into this country and attend any university of their choice, and they'll be automatically entitled to funding. Right? So I can see the opposing argument in that it's draining our economy, because as a parent, you and I, we pay taxes, right? So when our children go off to college or whatever, if they get a little help, it's based on the taxes that we've paid. But you have some of these people, they have the baby, they leave, don't pay a tax for the rest of their life. That child can come right back in for medical care. The child can come back in and vote. The child can come back in and file for them. So they're not fully participating in the processes that we have in place. They can just live outside until they turn 30, come right back in at 30 and pick up where they left off.
But let me ask you another question as it relates to having a child here in the US. So if you as an individual, you're full term and ambulance came, I mean, whether you have a citizenship or green card or visa, the ambulance will still take you if you have an emergency. They take you and bring you to Kings County or Jamaica Hospital. And your water broke and you're there and you're ready to give birth. You don't have insurance. You don't have any way of paying this bill. What happens?
Nothing. As where my medical professions, I think it's called the Hippocratic Oath. where the doctors have to treat you, and they will treat you. They don't care about your status at all. They are going to take care of you. Just like if you're walking across the street and you're undocumented, you hit by a car, you can walk into any hospital. What
Yeah.
you will find in the hospital is that shortly after giving birth, you'll be visited by a social worker. And that's where this comes in with the Long Island case, is that they prepped these women on what to say to make sure they would qualify for Medicaid. Because, you know, if you can give the right answers, you will qualify. I have no income. I don't know who the father of my child is. I'm probably staying with a friend or a family member. So nobody is holding that bill. We are holding that bill. Taxpayers are holding that bill. So the hospital is going to treat you. You're going to get the best of care. I can tell you that. And that bill depends if it's a normal birth or a high risk birth, that bill will be left with the taxpayers, because Medicaid will either pick it up, or some kind of public insurance will pick it up, or the hospital will be left holding the bag on the childbirth. What they have done now is when you go to adjust status, they will inquire on some of these things. If they see where a child is born when you were undocumented, they want to know if that hospital bill was paid. So they're tying the public charge doctrine right back to the unpaid medical bills and things of that sort.
Right. And here's another thing. I know we're talking about birth tourism, but there's another bigger aspect of this that we're not even looking at. We haven't spoken about it yet. It's called hospital tourism.
Mm.
This hospital tourism. Just come up, you're fine. You just want to get a good checkup, because the doctors or the hospital in your country may not be able to provide for you as well as the doctors here or the medical facility here in the US. So you come here, you're sick, you go to the hospital, you don't have a green card, they don't ask you for that. You don't have any insurance, nothing like that. They can't ignore you. They have to treat you, they have to see you, right?
They have to. And, you know, we all have that cousin that we say, when you go to hospital, give them the wrong name. Remember those? And the wrong address. You remember them there? When you're undocumented, you say just go to hospital and give them the wrong name and the wrong address. Absolutely. And those are some of the things why they're prosecuting, because they want to make. Listen, Junior, the United States, we have some of the best healthcare industry in the world. There's no doubt about that when you're getting treated here, you're getting proper treatment, and people are going to do whatever they can to take advantage of that. But just, if I can say anything to my Caribbean community, I would say whatever you do at this stage, with whether it's birth tourism or hospital tourism, it will come back to bite you later when you go to adjust from A to B. And you're going to say, but wait, this happened 8 years ago, 9 years ago. Those questions are going to be asked. So you're better off applying honestly for funds, or if you can, go into a payment arrangement for those hospital bills. I know a lot of times what we do is we go to the hospital, we don't really care. We get the bill, we stop answer the calls. When it comes to adjusting if you're a citizen or a green card holder, this conversation is not for you. This conversation is for those individuals that have no status and are taking advantage of whether birth tourism or hospital tourism. I would say just be careful.
Right. So it moves over as a public charge. It's a public charge, because when you go to adjust your status now, and public charge, like if you have, what are some of the other public charge that we could identify?
For example, unpaid medical bills. First of all, they're pulling a credit history for you and or your spouse. And if you're living here long enough, even whether you're undocumented or not, there will be some history on you. There's going to be some credit history. So they want to make sure there's no unpaid medical bills, to say if it's highly likely, I think it's highly likely or highly probable that you're going to become a public charge, whether you've collected, you got to be careful in collecting. I wouldn't put WIC in there, because WIC is for the baby. So anything you collect, food stamps, any means tested benefits, they're going to look at those. WIC is not there because WIC and, things intended for the baby or anything that benefits that child won't be held against you. But anything that you take, any means tested benefit that you take, when it's time for you to go from one status to the next, it's going to become an issue.
Hi, Cleopatra. Welcome. Queen, she's inside. Thank you, Queen. Thanks for
watching. Queen Cleo. Hey, love. Thanks for joining. Thank
Thanks
you
for
so
joining,
much
guys.
for joining.
We're having this conversation here. And don't forget, this program is sponsored by the law offices right there, Johnny Winter Funday, the number one immigration attorney. If you ever have any problem, any situation that deals with immigration, give her a call. Give her a call. Diana, give them the number because I know that a lot of people have questions.
813 815 3529.
That's it right there. 813-815-3529. Whether you have you're trying to adjust your status, whether you're trying, I know you don't do a lot of visas, but whether that you could call that too.
Yeah. Just call me for anything. I answer any questions.
Anything whatsoever.
Mhm.
Immigration, give her a call.
Yeah.
So I was saying. I lost my train of thought there. I lost my train of thought. What I was gonna say. I got distracted by something. Public charge. We talked about public charge, right?
We did talk about
Yeah,
public
we
charge.
spoke about public
Mhm.
charge. So yes. So tell me the process. You did this 5 years ago. You came here. You went by the hospital, Kings County. You didn't pay the bill. All of a sudden, you got married. Met a nice
Mhm.
girl, met a nice guy, whatever. You guys decided to get married, and you start to adjust the stat. The stat. You start to adjust the status. The person come to you and they said, "This is my information. This is what it is." Tell me the process where they're gonna realize that there are problems with the application.
All right. Even the first part of the application, when we're doing the I-485, so a lot of people just throw information on these forms without even thinking that there's a method to the madness for immigration here in the United States. They will ask you about every single child that you have and where that child was born. So that's step one. So they're doing their inquiry into it's like data collection, and
Right.
they use it for their own good, right? So they're going to ask you about that child. Then you're going to come with maybe in the affidavit of support. What is the status of the person that's sponsoring you? Is that the father of the child? Because now when they ask you for your tax documents, they're going to see this child being a dependent. So that's number two. Again, you now have the public charge doctrine. If you had gone to the hospital, you didn't pay the hospital bill, and they slapped it on your credit history, for those who have a social, some people do, because remember, we're talking about a basket of people. We're talking about students, people on visitors visas. We're talking about L's. We're talking about J's. So they have a way of tracking what you have been up to. And all these forms that ask you for the same information over and over again in that application packet, by the time you get to your interview, that officer will be saying, tell me a little bit more about this child. Where was the child born? So when I'm screening individuals, I ask these questions so we can get it out of the way. Maybe we can set up a payment plan, a reduced payment plan with the hospital. A lot of times they'll settle for 1/3, 2/3. We set that up to make sure it's not likely or highly likely that you're going to start relying on government funds.
So you could fix that. Something could be
It absolutely can be fixed. It's not a death sentence, not at all. It is not a death sentence. What immigration doesn't want to see is non-immigrants, students, B1, B2 people. And in fact, there's talk, well, Trump's leaving, but there was talk of an immigration bond for visitors. I don't know if you had seen that, where they would have to pay a bond before coming into the country. But these are not death sentences. These are things that you can sit down with an immigration attorney, whether myself or somebody else, and kind of talk about your history before you just walk into an interview like that.
Mm-hmm. Interesting stuff.
Mhm.
You know, I want to move a little bit into what you like to talk about, what you deal a lot with, and it's the deportation,
Okay.
right? So guys, if you have before I transition into that, guys, if you have any problem as it relates to the topic that we just spoke about, birth tourism, if you were caught up in it in a scheme, or if you didn't know, you didn't quite understand what you was getting yourself into, and you need representation, boom, you know who to call, right?
And before you move on, let me add to Junior, for those my B1, B2s, whether they're doing birth tourism, they come here, they go back home. How they catch them is when they go to renew their visa, because they have to give all this data on that new renewal application, the DS-160, and the officer is going to ask, because you're going to put, you have a child. And a lot of times, if they catch you and turn you around, they're canceling your visa. So on the turnaround, even if they let you in to have the baby, they're canceling they're not going to give you your visa back because your intent is wrong. So I just wanted to add to that, my B1s, they're going to ask you about that hospital bill. They want to make sure it's paid, and it will come up when you're renewing that visa.
Right. Okay. Peter's, Ian is saying, how you doing, Ian? It's a dog eat dog world over here, and we know it. We know how it is. Let's talk about deportation. Deportation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what I understood in this COVIDlicious time, that a lot of countries, namely the United Kingdom, deported a number of Jamaicans back to Jamaica. And how it is right now is there are a lot of coronavirus in England, right? It's getting better because they had a lockdown and it's moving in the positive. 30% drop in coronavirus increase infection in England, and big up on that. But they are still deporting people. People still have coronavirus. They're sending them back to Jamaica. How is that affecting Jamaicans and the other Caribbean island that now have to receive these people coming in? What's happening?
Right. So I'm not going to call them these people. I'm going to call them Jamaicans, right? Or Grenadans or Haitians. They belong. So these countries cannot turn their residents away. What they have to do, and I think Jamaica, I see them doing that, is put things in place, meaning screening, quarantining. So they have to put things in place. Even in the US, there's not this full stop to deportation. Deportation flights are still departing the US. I think we send kids back to Guatemala. We're sending, there was a flight to Haiti that left. People are still being deported now. So what the countries are doing, or what they will have to do, is put screening measures in place. Because in fact, if they don't take, I think Jamaica in the beginning, when, at the beginning of COVID, there was a flight getting ready to go, and Jamaica the prime minister was saying he didn't want them. And immediately Trump was talking about tightening those pockets. Remember, a lot of these countries get funding from the United States and they want their money. And what I think ended up happening was, I think we had gotten like a hospital donated to us, like a mobile hospital donated, and things of that sort, and flu vaccines, things to kind of help cope with it. But no, they're not going to stop these deportation flights because of COVID. Sorry.
And Mavis said something that's very important, and you articulated that very well, that when you've been deported, the receiving country, you must take it. You cannot.
It doesn't matter the crime you committed. It doesn't matter how long you have been gone. They have to receive you.
Right. Now, how does that weigh in on the fact that we have coronavirus, and a lot of these countries right now cannot even deal with the population of coronavirus that exists in the country as it stands? As a lawyer representing someone that is in the process of being deported, are there any way or anything that you could appeal to stop a deportation in the process under the premise of the situation that we're in right now?
So I can't go to court and tell the judge not to deport my client because of COVID. That's not a defense to deportation. What I can say to the court
is hardship. No. What about hardship?
That's not that's what I can say is, my client is ill. Can he get some treatment? So it might help delay the process. It is not a defense to deportation. So the judge isn't going to say halt the deportation because there's a pandemic. That's not going to happen. What I can say, if my client is ill, or if my client has been exposed, which I've had, because anybody in a detention center now is being exposed. We can say, Your Honor, let's have a virtual hearing instead of me coming to the facility, so we can do a virtual hearing, or we can ask the judge, and a lot of times the judge will also move the court date if they know that the person has been exposed. They don't want to be exposed either,
Right.
and these are humans, so they'll move the court date. But deportation is happening. We have done like bond motions asking the judge to release somebody from a detention center because they may have some underlying health conditions, and we don't want that to we don't want that to get bigger because of the big word that slipped me. You know the big word there.
A bit.
Thank you. I'm batting 0 to the junior.
I'm batting 0 for the whole week.
Say it again for me. Exacerbate.
Exacerbate? Something like that.
We need a nurse. We need a nurse or a medical. Any doctors on the line? Any medical profession?
Any dictionary, encyclopedia?
Anybody? Exact. But we don't want those conditions to flare up. Like we use the regular language. So we can use that as an argument. Hi, Gail Charles. We can definitely use that as an argument, but it does not stop the inevitable. If your client is, you don't have a good defense or something, then, we just use that to kind of help slow things down.
Right. So you're saying that there are few, because of the pandemic, it doesn't mean that the judges would be, ease up the deportation or reconsider deporting. There are still the same amount of deportation happening in COVID as before COVID.
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah. They're still, it's business as usual with mechanisms put in place, the mask, working with us to make sure we can get to court, working with us with telephonic hearings. I don't have to travel as much anymore. You can just request a telephonic hearing, and judges now are more open to grant them. So that's kind of where it is. And again, like I said, family members, you can use COVID as a little slowdown, like, the man have high blood pressure, him have diabetes, he should not be in a detention center. I can use that to make a bond request to say, look, he's going to go home, he's going to stay with his wife, put an ankle bracelet on him instead of keeping him locked up. But the court date is still coming. It's not like he's going to get a relief based on COVID. The relief has to be found in a remedy, in a defense from deportation.
All right, I think we got it. I think we got the word.
All right, say it, Junior. Thank you, Dean.
Exacerbate.
How do you pronounce exacerbate?
Exacerbate.
Exacerbate.
Yeah,
you see, me better have big word when we can't chew. So yeah, people. listen. On a stick to one, no, don't follow me. Cause up here, I twang up and I use big word. And you see where you get me now.
You see what happened?
I appreciate you, Dean. Exacerbate.
Exacerbate.
Exacerbate. It's the word of the week.
Exacerbate.
It's the word of the week.
Yeah, it's word of the week.
Exacerbate. See, thank you, Karen.
and they you see they putting it out there. Exacerbate.
It's the word of the week.
Word of the week is exacerbate.
Exacerbate. Don't exacerbate the problem.
Don't exacerbate the thing,
No, but I exacerbate the thing.
Exacerbate the thing, so.
Yeah, so that's kind of where we are in the world of birth tourism, right?
Yeah. I guess there's so much things that's happening right now in the world of immigration fun day, but we only have 1 hour. Done.
And we have some good news. Everything all is not dull enough, because I know for Department of Homeland Security that oversees immigration, we just got a new secretary. The leader of that he's a Cuban immigrant. He's a refugee from Cuba, and he'll be overseeing immigration for the next 4 years. All right.
Yes.
So that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
That's good news. That's great
excellent news. That's really good news.
And you know what I like about the incoming cabinet? It looks like America. It
Mm-hmm.
looks like the makeup of America. Because
Mm-hmm.
people who don't quite understand, America is an experiment. And they said it
Mm-hmm.
before, and I really believe that America is an experiment. Here you have one area is Russian, German, Jamaicans,
Mm-hmm.
Grenadians, Trinidadians. This is the only country in the world that have so much diversity of people. And
Mm-hmm.
then the people in cabinet, the people in leadership should reflect that. You
And
shouldn't hold
women, and we have a
and
lot of
women,
women too that are being
yeah,
appointed, so that's pretty good.
yeah. I think that is important that government look like the people. You
Mm-hmm.
can't have only a bunch of white men talking about women issues and abortion
Mm-hmm.
and making all these
Making
plans and
decisions, yeah,
decisions for women. And
right.
there's not a woman sitting in the room to give her point of view. That is
I
horrible.
absolutely agree.
You know what I mean? And look at the the African American representation.
It
I
looks
mean,
pretty good.
it looks pretty good.
It looks
That's
very
how
good.
America have to be. And I'm happy that we have an immigrant that's going to potentially be leading Homeland
Homeland
Security.
security.
Homeland Security.
Absolutely.
That makes
Absolutely.
sense. That makes freaking sense.
It
It's like
makes sense.
you want a doctor to be to
To
you
perform
want
the
to
surgery.
perform the surgery. Exactly. Like,
You
come
want a
on.
bus driver to drive the bus.
Exactly. You know what I
So
mean? You're not gonna get like a baby to say a word like exacerbate.
apparently not. Or maybe not even an adult.
It's a difficult word, I'm telling you.
It's difficult. And I thought it was just gonna slip out like that.
Sometimes it happens.
I was like, ugh.
Yeah. Deanna, big up yourself. Thank you so much, guys. Don't forget, if you have any immigration problem, give her a call right now. The number I almost said 718 813 815 3529. That's 813 815 3529. And Deanna, I'm not going to talk much about my new project yet, but I have
Woman,
a big, big,
I
big.
can't wait.
Yeah, that's going to be sometime next week. We'll talk about it.
All right, Junior. No
All right.
worries.
Everybody, thank you so much. And don't get called the number 813-815-3529. 813-815-3529. Thanks for watching.
Hey,
Thanks for being a part of our
Geraldine.
program
Hey,
today.
Sharon. Wait, what are you from Jamaica?
What is
Yay. Big up
Jamaican? What is Jamaican
Jamaica.
there? What is Jamaican there? Put up all your flag. Let me see where I go.
Sharon Lecky. Put up a flag, Sharon Lecky.
Let me see.
Thank
Put up
you,
all the
Ian Baker.
flag.
Thank you.
Put up all the flag. Put up uno flag.
I know Sharon Lecky is watching from Jamaica.
Who?
Sharon Lecky.
Sharon.
Lecky. Thank you, Mavis.
Mavis, I'm gonna stop by your house tomorrow. I was right around by Mavis today. I was 2 blocks away from her, but I didn't know if she was home. I didn't want to just go knocking on her door.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Mavis is my neighbor actually. I could say her Mavis' name and she could hear me down the block.
Nice.
Yeah. So Mavis, I'll pass it by you tomorrow. All right. Big up all yourself. Thank you so much, guys. Don't forget 813-815-3529. Thank you. Mwah, 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 mwah. Pick up everybody. Thanks you again.
Guys.
All right. Guys, also I got to tell you about this before we wrap up. The big Megaforce promotion, Super Sunday. Yeah, Waggity Virtual Bingo. 25,000 US dollars. Yeah, 25,000 US dollars to be won. The Waggity Bingo, big money bingo. Super Sunday. Don't forget, get your tickets. Excuse me. Get your tickets at Go to Fet. Yeah, Go to Fet. That's going to be on Sunday, December the 20th. Sunday, December the 20th. Get your tickets right now for the Waggity Big Super Sunday, $25,000. Also, guys, I got to tell you about this. This Saturday, as in sleep and wake. Yeah. This Saturday is a Ridealong Curry Q. Yeah. Curry crab and dumpling, curry shrimp and white rice, real curry roti, shrimp roti, chicken roti, beef roti on the menu, curry Q. It's happening this Saturday, right? We're also gonna have some we ain't having oil long this time around, but we having potato pudding, right? So guys, I want you guys to order your brunch or your lunch for the Ridealong Curry Q. and it's all in an effort to raise funds. All right, it's a fundraiser. We do it all the time. So guys, be a part of our Curry Q. Support. If you need more information, inbox us and we'll tell you how you could order and pick up or delivery for our Curry Q this Saturday. Thanks again, guys. Don't forget, guys, if you need a quality video production, quality video production for any reason, any purposes, besides the private in-house type of thing or little bit carrying on with, we ain't doing that. But when I say private, I mean like you're having an event that only for your family to see, not the private thing that you do in your bedroom. Okay, we don't do that. Professional video production and streaming services, call right now, 718-701-5720. That's 718-701-5720. Professional video production and a whole lot more. Give us a call.
Nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can change my energy. Nobody can hold me sick. I will not allow negativity. Nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can change my energy. Nobody can, yo.
Hey, I got some good news for you. Looking for a passionate immigration lawyer with experience that spans over 2 decades? Someone trusted that served immigrant families just like yours? Well, look no more. Now you can benefit from her personal and professional experience. Diane Winter Funde. Schedule a consultation now and get assistance with your immigration journey. Specialize in adjustment of status, B1 business visa, B2 visitors visa, consular processing, deportation defense, naturalization, and more. Give us a call today at 813-815-3529. That's 813-815-3529 or online at winterimmigration.com. Attorney Diane Winter Funde. Law done differently.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
You want a hand sanitizer to do 3 things: kill germs, be gentle, and to go where you go. You can get all of that in our hand sanitizer. Hard on germs, gentle on hands, affordable. Remember, hand sanitizers contain alcohol. Keep away from heat and flames and avoid contact with eyes. Available at retailers island-wide.
You're constantly thinking of food, but sometimes you just don't want to cook or want something a little different. That's when you call Tasties, preparing meals that you really love. Tasties, our mouth-watering food, would have you coming back every day. But hold on, we only prepare meals Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for now. Call early because we have a lot to serve and we would love to serve you. Tasties, we prepare the meals you love to eat. From macaroni pie to baked chicken, provision dumpling and saltfish, stewed chicken, curry chicken, baked chicken, rice and peas, salads, and more. Please call for daily menu. Call 425-0624 or 403-0411. You can pick up your meals from us or we deliver it to you. Tasties, food that's delicious.